This is the moment Alireza Firouzja thought Magnus Carlsen was cheating, and because of this cheating, a match where Alireza was up on material, he would end up losing. But what exactly did Magnus do? And how did it cause Alireza, the biggest up-and-coming prodigy in the world, to lose terribly? Alireza opens with e4 and Magnus responds with e5. With bishop to b5, the game turns into the Roy Lopez opening. Magnus kicks away the bishop with a6 and plays d6, reinforcing his e5 pawn and opening up his light square bishop. The dark square bishop, however, will have a harder time developing. Alireza castles while Magnus prepares to fianchetto his bishop. Magnus attacks the e4 pawn with his knight, and Alireza defends it by dropping his bishop to c2. The players continue maneuvering their pieces, with Alireza bringing his other knight to the king's side. Magnus offers a bishop trade, but Alireza, the attacker, wants to keep as many pieces on the board as possible. White puts his bishop on the more open diagonal on b3. Magnus offers a knight trade, which Alireza cleverly defends with h4. The players keep improving their pieces. Alireza, knowing he has the advantage, tries to look for a breakthrough, but lets his clock run down. He plays h5 with the intention to open up the king's side. The pieces soon start to get traded, but it is Magnus who ends up with a better position and a bishop pair. Soon a pair of rooks gets traded, and the game heads closer and closer to a draw. However, Magnus is one step away from making a move that will land him in serious trouble. Another pair of rooks gets traded, and Alireza plays queen to c4, threatening checkmate on g8. With both players having just seconds on their clocks, Magnus miscalculates and plays queen to f6, which is a terrible mistake. Alireza sees the winning sequence and immediately captures the pawn on e5. After the trade of pawns, queen to b4, a check, which Magnus clearly overlooked. Magnus starts to look more and more frustrated and plays c5, realizing his position is on the brink of collapse. Alireza grabs the free pawn and goes after the black king. But things only get worse for Magnus, as after queen c8 check, Alireza wins another pawn. Magnus is furious. He yells something in Norwegian and offers a queen trade, hoping his superior endgame technique would somehow save him. Little did Alireza know, this would mark the beginning of the end for him. This video was made possible thanks to Morgan & Morgan. You should always be 2 steps ahead in life, just like you need to be in chess. Accidents can happen anywhere, and if you ever get injured, submitting claims should be quick and easy, but it never is, right? Well, that's where you're wrong. With Morgan & Morgan, it's super easy. With their modernly efficient app, you have access to all the tools you need to submit a claim. No office visits needed. Morgan & Morgan has revolutionized injury law by allowing you to manage your entire case by phone. Sign documents and share medical records and bills, all without having to go anywhere. In 8 clicks or less, you can submit a claim to Morgan & Morgan. It's an absolute lifesaver. Stay focused on your next big chess match, because if an accident happens, Morgan & Morgan has your back. Visit forthepeople.com or dial #law 529. He accepts the queen trade as he's 2 pawns up and should be able to convert his advantage even against the greatest player of all time. Magnus captures the knight, turning the game into an opposite color bishop endgame, which are notoriously drawish. Alireza starts advancing his king. Black can do nothing except move his bishop back and forth. Magnus knows he needs a miracle to survive this game. Meanwhile, Alireza has only seconds on his clock and starts dropping his pieces, perhaps a sign of what's to come. White now has an outside passed pawn, which he can use as bait. All Alireza needs to do is play bishop to c6, put the black king in zugzwang, and win one of the black pawns. Unfortunately, Alireza's nerves take over, and he gives up his b5 pawn too early. After a few more moves, Alireza has the chance to play king f7 and roll out the red carpet for his pawn to promote. However, he gets scared of losing another pawn and plays e4, which is a big mistake. Magnus plays king b6, trying to go around. The only way to stop the promotion is from the back. Alireza gets once again scared and plays e6. If he had taken the pawn on g5, the black king would not be fast enough to stop one of the pawns from promoting. Alireza finally captures the pawn, but the black king is exactly where he wants to be. However, something unexpected happens next. Nervous, Alireza drops his king and loses on time. However, he is not happy with the results and claims it is a draw. The arbiter looks confused. If there is no way for Magnus to win, the game is a draw. But if a checkmate for black is possible, even if completely unrealistic, Magnus wins. Soon, Alexander Grischuk shows up in the audience trying to clear things up. Magnus looks relaxed, knowing he will at least not lose the game anymore. Moments later, the chief arbiter arrives with bad news for Alireza. Despite being down 3 pawns, Magnus is able to checkmate Alireza and therefore wins the game. While Alireza would never allow such a checkmate, the rules of the game do not take into consideration the strength of the players. However, the drama continues. Realizing the draw is no longer on the table, Alireza starts complaining about Magnus's behavior. He accuses Magnus of speaking Norwegian and cursing, which distracted him from the game. After a long discussion, the arbiter sides with Magnus, as Alireza should have complained during the game, not after it. Alireza tries to appeal the decision, but fails. Magnus is the winner.